last week, Jurassic World made like $500 million, but that was a global take, right? We're only talking about a U.S. take here, this $100 million?
Yeah, so it's up to about $1 billion globally already, just in 10 days. So that thing has just been a monster. It's been a dinosaur. So you're going to see a lot more sequels coming back from Jurassic World, certainly.
Is that a good thing, by the way? Wait, is that a good thing? Was the movie any good? Did you see it?
I haven't seen it yet, but my kids have seen it, and they loved it.
But
so yes.
That's irrelevant. These are kids' movies. My children don't walk out of a movie ever and say that it stunk. It's the fact that they went to the movie, they love going, they love getting a snack, and then all they want is you to buy them items themed around that movie after. So my question to you, Paul, is that what this is all about? Not, did Jurassic World beat Inside Out? Is it the fact that movies geared towards children are the money makers, and it doesn't matter how sophisticated your Julia Roberts, Denzel Washington, George Clooney trifecta is. It's all about 8-year-olds.
It's all about big franchises, and the big franchises tend to target some of the kids, the younger demos, the teens. So you think about what's driving, the box office this year, and year-to-date box office just in North America is up about 6%. It's been the big franchises, and we're going to have another Avengers coming out of Marvel later this year.
God.
And we're going to have
serious?
Star Wars is coming back, so get ready for that. So you think about some of these huge franchises, these tentpole things that they can just bring back year after year after year. That is what drives the box office, because they play not only in the U.S., but they play all over the world. And about 2/3 of all box office is now outside of North America. So movies have to play globally, not just in the U.S. And
by the way, Avengers, although I definitely won't ever go see another one of those. Isn't that a Marvel owned by Disney?
That's right.
And Star Wars also owned by Disney?
That's right.
And Inside Out, Pixar,
owned by Disney.
Wow.
So you see a theme there, right?
Yeah, they're doing quite well.
They're doing quite well. So what Disney's done is they've went out and they bought big franchises. They bought the Pixar company. They bought the Marvel studios. They bought George Lucas's company for the Star Wars
So
things.
We're going to look back and say Bob Iger stole Star Wars, Pixar, Marvel, because at the time we thought they were big ticket items.
Right. These are multi-billion-dollar acquisitions, but nobody does it better than Disney. They make good movies. They tie it in with merchandise more than anybody else.
They're the only ones who can. No one else has the theme parks, has the store, has the capability to do this.
Universal Studios is doing great. #1 in the box office this year is Universal Studios, owned by Comcast. And actually, if you talk to the Comcast people, when they bought NBC Universal, they thought they were buying the cable networks. What's really been a real surprise for them has been the movie studio. Universal's now #1. And the Universal parks down in Orlando have been huge growers of cash flow. So every quarter, Comcast says, we've got this great theme park business. It's not just Disney, and our theme park cash flows are growing because Harry Potter down in Orlando.
Then who's the loser here?
Well, I think some of the movies you mentioned, some of the adult-driven movies have a hard time getting made these days. So, if you're just looking for a new story-driven Hollywood, those movies tend to get, they're hard to get made, they're hard to get greenlit, and when they do actually get made, they're not shown in the summer. They're not shown in the holiday season when people are really going to movies. They tend to be other times of the year. So
if I'm Kevin Costner, if I'm Parker Posey, if I'm an actress who wants to go the independent route, it works for me. But if I'm Kevin Costner, who loves a Waterworld, a big budget studio film, I'm out of luck.
It's harder. It's much harder to get those movies made. Now, there's still the Denzel Washingtons of the world, the Tom Hanks of the world, the A-list stars. Even Tom Cruise is coming back with another Mission Impossible. But there's a franchise. But if you just want to, I've got a great story. It's a little bit harder to get done today than it was 5 or 10 years ago.
Well, which explains why there aren't any good movies to go see for, like, grown-ups.
Certainly in the summertime.
Whiplash. You didn't like Whiplash?
Whiplash?
Birdman?
I mean, it was okay, but that was like an Oscar kind of movie.
And they're more independent genre
American
type of
Sniper
films.
was a real surprise story. That did huge box office. It wasn't expected to do big box office. It's mostly just a U.S. movie. It's not playing particularly well outside of the U.S., but there's a movie that came out with little expectation, but it had an A-list star and a great story, and it worked. So it still does happen. It's just harder to get done because if you take a look at Disney, they're not making those kinds of films anymore, and some of the other big studios are not as well. So, instead of having, 4 or 5 opportunities across all the studios, you might now only have 1 or 2 opportunities to get a movie made that's outside of a proven franchise.
Is Tom Cruise as sellable as he once was? Does he have that star power?
I will go see anything Tom Cruise does.
There you go. So.
He rides fast bikes. He drives fast cars. He's cool. Right? But, of course, I'm in my 40s. Paul Sweeney, thanks so much for joining us. Bloomberg Intelligence there.
We have to leave it there.
We're going to leave it there as far as
Do you think Tom Cruise is cool? Do you?
I do. I'm still in the Top Gun mode.
Yeah.
You know what? Top
1985.
Gun was a fantastic movie. There was that moment in history.
One of the greatest movies of all time.
It was.
Yes.
Fast forward, I don't think he's as cool as he once was. But that was a special movie. Cool.